Hello, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you once again. And I thought it was due to our event-filled or eventful weekend, I thought it was perfect time to do a SimpliSafe follow-up review. It's been a few months since I installed my SimpliSafe alarm system, my DIY home alarm system, home security system. And the brief update is I absolutely love the SimpliSafe home alarm system. That being said, I'd also like to talk about what I don't like about the SimpliSafe home alarm system. So we'll split this review into a couple segments because what happened this past weekend is kind of what triggered, pun intended, this review for two reasons. One, I'd been meaning to do a follow-up, and two, I was wanting to clean our laundry air vent system. Hadn't done it in a couple years, and it was due. And I don't know what the frequency is that you're supposed to clean the lint vents out of, and I'm talking about the vent that goes from the back of the dryer through the house and then exits outside the house. So when you're using the dryer, you can feel the heat, smell the freshness of the laundry and whatever scents you're adding to it. But in any case, it was time to do the dryer vent, and which is kind of funny because when you think about the vent that sits in the dryer, the empty every time you use the dryer, you're like, well, how much stuff can be in the house vent? Actually, quite a bit. So the reason I kept delaying doing the house vent on the dryer was because my washer and dryer sit on pedestals, and in order to get to that vent in the back of what is technically the washer, because of how I have them set up, you have to take the drawer off of the rails on that particular riser. I think I had to look up how to do it once, because normally on a desk there's you just press in and then it comes right out. Well, on the pedestals you have to actually unscrew a couple of bolts, one on each side, and then the drawer lifts out. So what happened over the weekend was we were all doing our thing, and then all of a sudden, and we're at home, so the alarm system is not active per se, but a water sensor, so you know what's going to happen, is always active. So I'm in the house. I didn't have my phone near me. Honey Bunch is downstairs. All of a sudden the alarm goes off, and you can hear the base station saying water alert, or something similar to that, but it was using language. So I knew, okay, we've got an issue with water. And we were doing laundry at the time, so I kind of had a feeling what I was in store for when I went to the washer. And this particular water sensor is right next to the washer on the ground. And the reason we have this water sensor right next to the washer, I have two water sensors, one next to the washer and one next to the water heater, which is a few feet away, is because water can be very damaging. And when this went off, my first thought was it's either the water heater or the washer. So I went down and looked at the washer, and sure enough, there's water on the floor. And we have an old washer, old like 10 years. And for whatever reason, when the setting is on normal, everything works fine. But if you change the cycle setting to like delicate or light load, the washer leaks, and it leaks all over the place. So we don't know what's going on, but we had water. So in order to get at all the water, I ultimately had to take the drawer off of the pedestal. So because I was able to take the drawer off the pedestal, that allowed us to get to all the water, soak it up, clean up under there and whatnot. And that was about 30 minutes of fun. And that allowed me to get to the back of the dryer vent on the wall. So I'll stitch in a video right about here that shows the fun we had blowing out the dryer vent. and the mess it was. I think I'll edit the audio because of what we were saying when that was happening. So I'll stitch that in right about now.
Oh my gosh.
That's the first one. You okay?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yes.
Yucky, yucky. All right, now we're back, and I'll talk about the second half of my follow-up to the alarm system. Again, for the alarm functionality, love this system. The keypad, all of the individual sensors, obviously loving the water sensor. I have since purchased additional sensors for doors, windows, more motion detection, more brake sensor, glass braking sensor, and love the way the app works. I have zero complaints about what I would call the standard home security stuff. What I do have issue with, and as you know from the original video, is the Wi-Fi camera. So every once in a while, I'll just, log into the camera, see what's up, just testing functionality. And 90% of the time when I want to get into that Wi-Fi camera, the white Wi-Fi camera, the $140 camera, I'll show a picture of that, I get a connection error. And I have moved my access point all kinds of different places. And, when I set up this particular camera, that was a second camera that SimpliSafe had sent me after the first one failed and they couldn't get it to work. It connected and everything seemed to be fine. But then every once in a while when I would check in on it, I'm like, connection error. And it would happen probably 90-ish% of the time. So once in a while I'm like, okay, maybe, fluke, whatever. So I decided to pick up the little black camera, the older camera. They call it a wired camera. I don't know why SimpliSafe calls the white one the wireless and the black one the wired. They both plug into power. Neither one of them is wired in the sense wired as in network wiring. So SimpliSafe, in fact, I was on the phone with them about this. SimpliSafe calls the black one the wired camera. Wired because it's USB powered, where the wireless is the white one, which is also USB powered, but also has a battery, so it can be, for a few hours, it can run off battery. So in any case, most of the time, when I try to camera in and use the app, whether that's on my iPad or my phone, the white camera is unreliable for me. It is just very inconsistent. Whereas the black camera, and I now have 3 black cameras, every single time, 100%. So I started with putting the black camera wherever I had the white camera previously or currently to test connectivity, because the network signal is going to be different. And I have a Ubiquiti, Unify, and I've been told that's got a pretty strong antenna, and I've made videos on that before, and I've got great coverage in the house. In fact, we'll do a speed test at some point. And what I find super interesting is, regardless of where I put the black camera, it always connects. And wherever I put the white camera, it never connects. So it's a very, very frustrating process that led me to purchase additional black cameras, so that I have black cameras in key parts of the home, and I'm able to app into those at any time, and 100%. I've never had the black camera connection fail. And it got to the point where the white camera was so inconsistent, I now have a black camera sitting next to the white camera, which I'll show you right about now. And this is what we'll be testing against, because it's quite frustrating. I'll show you the app. I'll probably blur out details, maybe make it a little fuzzy, but you'll get the idea of what's going on. But when I run the app, it says that my white camera has a full charge on the battery, so the white light on the back, and it shows a good connection with the three maximum green bars, which you'll see on the app. So I have connection, and there's no red light blinking. Red light meaning no network connectivity or lost network connectivity. So there's no connection issues per se. And because I have the black camera right next to the white one, you would think it would be the same Wi-Fi connectivity / reception strength. The black camera works consistently. The white camera does not work consistently. So let me adjust things, and I'll put my camera down here, and you can see what's going on with the app and the different cameras. Back in a minute. All right, so here's my cameras. There's a total of 4 cameras. The white camera, which is called the wireless, and the 3 black cameras, which are called wired. But I don't know why SimpliSafe uses the term wired, because it's a USB powered. All 4 of these cameras are USB powered. This one also has a battery, but they refer to this one as wireless because you can technically disconnect the cable, the wired power cable. I usually refer to wireless as, or wired as network cable connect. So this is the family room. Very fast connection. That's the farthest away. That's 45 feet. 45 linear feet from the access point. This is living room 2. This is the camera that is right next to the white camera. Very fast connection. This is the upstairs camera. This is about 10.5 feet from the access point. And I'll show the access point if I haven't already. I forgot too many segments. And because I'm on video right now, this will work. And then that tells me I'll have to remake this video a few times because I've connected to this recently, and that's why you see the picture. Otherwise, it would have a connection failure. So let's see what happens today. It's always slower. It's usually about 3 times slower. When it actually does connect, it's about 3 times slower than the other cameras, the wired cameras, the black cameras. So this is the level of frustration and reliability or unreliability of this particular camera. What's interesting is right now there is no red light on the camera, meaning it's got network connectivity. There's the black camera that's right next to it that has the exact same view. Again, I'll show that picture. So they're right next to each other, but this one will connect occasionally. I'll say about 10% of the time. I'll randomly check something. There we go. Camera's disconnected. But what's interesting is when you look at the camera, you see these. You see it's fully charged. It has 3 green bars, and it says the connection is good. And again, there's no red light on the top of this camera when there is no network wireless available. In fact, I specifically updated my access point to the latest upgrade before I did this a couple hours ago. And everything according to the topology connects. And when you go into this utility, sorry, I'm not standing in front of it. Again, you see that the living room, fully charged, 3 green bars, good connection. And if I go to the loft, for example, which is the closest camera, and I do a connection check, this takes about 30 seconds, and I'll get anywhere from good to fair to poor, depending on where the camera is. Okay, so my Wi-Fi upload speed is good, and my signal strength, which is funny because this is 10 feet away from the access point, is fair. So I don't know if we'll be able to. This X is so non-responsive. Okay. How about, there we go. Let's go back to, yeah, it's really hard to, these little connection points are ridiculous. So frustrating when I'm right in front of it and it won't activate to touch. So we'll do living room where it says it's good. Again, good. Connection check. Start connection check. Let's go. And I'm guessing it'll say unable to connect. But again, there's no red light blinking. There's the white light, and that's the connection light. And, you know, I'll randomly be checking the cameras, again, just for peace of mind, especially after the recent incident with the alert. And all of the wired, the black cameras, the USB wired, not network wired, all of the black cameras work 100% of the time. I've never had a connection failure with any of the black cameras. This white Wi-Fi wireless, that's how it's marketed. For me and my condition, yeah, camera's offline. Okay. Camera's offline, yet it's good, and I have 3 green bars, and the red light isn't blinking. So again, updating my access point. This is so irritating. Updating my access point and going to any other camera has no issue. That's the farthest camera away at 47 feet. This camera is, I think, 15 to 20 feet away. I want to say 20-ish feet, 20 linear feet, because the camera's right here at the desk or the table that's right in this corner, and the access point is right up here on this particular, above this door right here. And then that's the loft. Yeah, the black cameras are fast and reliable. The white Wi-Fi, not so much. Oh, and there it goes. There's an exact example of 30 seconds ago, the configuration utility said the camera's off. Uh-oh. I spoke too soon. This is excellent. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, the level of reliability of this particular camera. It said it was good. We ran the connection check. It says the camera's offline, and now we're back to the camera connection dropped. So we'll go back to the camera that's right next to it. And there it is. Very, very unfortunate. So for me, the white wireless camera is unreliable and not worth $140. The black cameras are about $70 each, half the price. Obviously older generation. You can see the difference in the size of the windows. Again, what the camera sees. So obviously the newer camera, better window, less reliable. Unreliable, in fact, as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if it comes back this time. Okay, so we're back. And we'll see if it stays. Oh, and waking up the camera. Looks like now it's connecting. And it's launching live view. And the camera connection dropped. So again, this is the second camera I've had, so I'll leave this one on while I'm talking so you can see the difference that this doesn't drop. This is the second Wi-Fi wireless white camera that SimpliSafe has sent me. The first one a couple months ago when they couldn't get the other Wi-Fi camera to even get on my network. It got on, deleted, got on, wouldn't work. I called them for support. Nothing worked. They sent me this this new one. So this week I called SimpliSafe, and I got a very helpful person. But all she wanted to do was run through diagnostics. And I understood where she was going from, where she was coming from, and where she was going. And what I tried to convey to her was, I don't want to have to troubleshoot this thing, call you every time it doesn't work. Like right now, it's semi-working. So you're going to say, oh, it's your network, it's your access point, it's your config, it's your setup, it's your whatever. But look at this camera. The time we've been talking and the camera hasn't dropped, and we're looking into the house. So I call bunk on the whole, it's your access point, it's your network, it's your connectivity, it's your whatever. And my point to her was, it's your camera. Your camera does not work as well as the older black cameras do in terms of, I don't know, is it an antenna issue, design issue, connectivity issue? But this camera right here is sitting next to the white camera, and we can't get the white camera to either come on or stay on as we can this particular camera. So it's very frustrating in terms of dealing with something that doesn't work. So I asked her to escalate because I didn't want to troubleshoot, because she's like, oh, we have to delete it, we have to re-add it, we have to blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't want to have to do that. I shouldn't have to do that. And I use the analogy of, a car with a broken engine. You want me to take the car in for repair every time I want to drive it. So every time I want to view this camera, I have to do the delete, the add, the update, the whatever. No, that's not going to work for me. So she transferred me to the next level up. And his comments were, we understand your frustration, very, very customer service centric, which I thought was great. And, he let me know that they've seen some issues with the white cameras. I won't go into detail. And he asked me, was it a refurb? And I said, quite frankly, I don't think so. I don't know for sure, but it didn't look like a refurb. It looked brand new in terms of the packaging and whatnot. And his concern was, the age of the chipset / I'm not going to use the term firmware. So he said they had some issues. He's going to escalate this up. And he didn't commit, but he said, look into sending you a replacement with newer. And again, he didn't use the term firmware, because you can download firmware updates. So that tells me a chipset change because of problems that they may have been having with the white camera. But my point is, this white camera, this wireless camera, for me is, in my configuration, is completely unreliable and junkish. So look, the connection won't hold. And again, I'll go to the farthest camera and finish babbling while I talk about the connection, because this camera is the farthest in the house from my SimpliSafe base station and the access point that's on the second floor. In between, it's basically at the bottom of the first floor, in an area, again, I'll show it, that is between the first and second floor. So I get great coverage in the house. And, again, all the black cameras, the wired SimpliSafe cameras, perform flawlessly, but that white camera, I cannot get consistency. In fact, this is the most consistency I've had in terms of starting the app and clicking on the camera and at least having the camera wake up and show me my house, albeit for just 5 or 6 seconds before it says dropped or, trouble connecting to the camera. But yeah, it's so unreliable that, I ended up buying the black cameras to replace. I bought one black camera to see if it was better than the white camera. It was. I put the white camera and the black camera in the same place, and everywhere the white camera would not connect, the black camera did. So I ultimately replaced the places I had tried the white camera with the black camera, and I've not had any issues since with the black cameras. cannot get the consistency and reliability with this white camera as you're seeing right now. And this is normal. This is normal. The connection, the consistent connection is abnormal. And it's just the opposite with the black camera. So this will time out, and as it usually does. And that's unfortunate because, you know, it's very, very frustrating to have to spend this kind of money on a system. And again, the rest of the system, I love the rest of the system. And I've purchased, as I said, additional devices, additional adapters, you know, for the doors, for the windows, and this is the camera next to it again. I have purchased multiple additional devices for additional security in the house in terms of doors, windows, glass breaking, motion detection, and I have complete confidence and comfort in everything except, and including the black cameras, except the white wireless camera. I have zero confidence in its reliability, and the reason I opted for that the white camera, they had a package with the black camera, is because they touted its one of the programs, the services, the $30 a month service where SimpliSafe can dial in and activate that camera and communicate with, you know, somebody who may be in the house. You know, whether that's an invited guest, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm in here to get you know, some sugar for next door, and he said I could come over, and the door was open, blah blah blah. So there's the ability to interact and record that video, and that plan is not worth the money with this particular, not this camera, but with. Wow, it's so hard to do things when the phone is just not 100% in front of you. With this particular camera. So the reliability and usability of this white wireless Wi-Fi camera is completely unreliable, and if I had it to do all over again, I would not have opted for the package with this particular camera for my my configuration. So for me in my situation, this camera is not viable, and as I said, I've replaced the white camera with a black camera in each location I wanted a camera. So that's kind of where things stand. We'll see what SimpliSafe comes back with. Love the product as a security system. I'm not happy with the white camera's performance. And again, this is my second white camera. The first one was even worse. Couldn't get it on the network. Or got it on the network, couldn't get it to work, then couldn't get it off the network, and neither could SimpliSafe. They had to wipe everything out and start from scratch, and they could never get that camera working. So methinks that the white camera's chipset firmware combination, not so bueno, but you know, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with SimpliSafe and what they're committing to, or implying they're committing to, in terms of potentially replacing the white camera. But in any case, the white camera for me is useless. That's why I have the black camera right next to it, and that's how things will run until something changes from SimpliSafe. So zero confidence level in the white Wi-Fi camera. And that is it for now, unless there's a need for a subsequent update. So take care all.